Okay, how's everyone doing today? I hope you guys are doing amazing. I know I am. I've got a, let's see here. Looks like let me go into the vehicle here. Sunroof will not open and close consistently on this 2014 GMC Seirra SLT with the 6.2, and that's the L86 engine. Now, I did a code scan on it. There's absolutely no codes, okay? So, let me show you this circuit. I've already kind of taken a peek at everything, but I just want to kind of go through how this works. Now, the power sunroof system components, you've got a sunroof control module, a sunroof switch, sunroof glass, tilt slide with glass sliding between the headliner and roof, the rail track assembly, and the glass slides, and the sunroof fuse 30 ampere, and then your BCM. I've already gone on the BCM. This scan tool does not show me any inputs for it, as far as the switch is concerned. And then it's telling us we have a ground at G200 for the control module as well as the sunroof switch. As far as its operation, the power sunroof system will operate with the ignition switch turned to the accessory or run positions. That allows for retained accessory power control of the sunroof through the BCM. Once the ignition switch is turned to the off position, the sunroof will continue to operate until any door is opened or when the RAP timer reaches its shut-off time limit. For a description and operation of the RAP operation, refer to the retained accessory power description and operation. Okay, let's take a look at the switch. The sunroof switch, located in the front center of the headliner, contains two rocker-type switches that are used to control the following sunroof functions: roof express open close, roof open close, vent open close. Now, it is not working right now. You can hear the clicking. I pulled the switch down, but it was working here, and I just kept playing with it. And I finally got it to not work. It was working just fine, and then now we got no dice. Now, I don't know what is clicking. So, I don't know if that's the motor assembly that's clicking like that. So, let me, I guess let's pull up a wiring diagram quick. Let's see if they got a schematic. They should have a schematic in here. I was just kind of peeking through some of this information, just familiarizing myself. Now, to find this information, I had to do a search because the sunroof system doesn't lay, it's not in the service manual where you would think. It's in diagnostic information and procedures, okay? And it's under power sunroof malfunction. So it's not going to be under Windows, okay? You'll have that. So let's take a look at, not diagnostic aids. Let's look at circuit description. So the sunroof control module supplies each of the sunroof switch signal circuits with a 12-volt ref. When a switch is pressed, the signal circuit is pulled low, signaling the sunroof open or close request. The module determines the motor direction based on inputs received from the sunroof switch. So if we go into, you would think this module would be in here. Now this could be a scan tool thing. I really don't know. But if we go in here, yeah, my key is on. I'm in the BCM right now, okay? I'm not sure where, I've kind of looked, you'd think Windows data would have the inputs and outputs. But you can see here, nothing about sunroof, okay? Excuse me. I guess we could look through some of these, because you would think it would be under BCM, right? But it's not. Well, at least it's not giving it to me. electrical power management data. Yeah, nothing about the sunroof in here. So, I've kind of gone through all of this, but just to see if maybe it's listed under something different, and I'm not seeing it, any information about the sunroof, okay? Which is weird, but we could try going into output controls maybe and see what they give us. Again, nothing about the sunroof, okay? Excuse me. And if we come back out to our main menu, I'm not seeing anything. You could maybe look in telematics, but I doubt it's going to be in there, but you never know. You go into data on this. Yeah, this is all the Bluetooth stuff, GPS stuff. So this cancel is really not going to be any of assistance here. At least this one. Okay, I could try the Autel and see if maybe it has some different stuff, but let's see here. What service resets and relearns? Let's see what they got here. Yeah, nothing in here about that. Now, they do list a learn procedure for this sunroof system. Let me just close up some of these here. I guess let's look at a schematic real quick. I know I'm kind of being all over the place, but, I'm just familiarizing myself with the system. Okay. So here is our switch. Okay. And it's showing the positions or whatnot. Sunroof CF5 wiring schematic. Yeah, let's zoom in on that. Okay, so here's our sunroof motor. There's our 30 amp fuse they were talking about. That lives in the instrument panel. So our right instrument panel fuse box is a 30 amp fuse for this motor. It looks like that's a heavy red green, okay? And then we have a 10 amp fuse here. That's our wrap relay 1, which it's looking like that's in our left kick panel or our left fuse box. So that'd be the left side, and that's a 10 amp fused circuit, and that's providing power to this. It's coming in on X319 connector to this motor. So the switch, I'm just kind of taking a look here, guys. So to me, what this is looking like is the sunroof switch, obviously shares a ground with the motor, okay? Now, okay, see, now it's working, but not correctly. Look at that. What in the world? Okay, so let's try this relearn procedure quick since it is working. I am not sure, guys, what's going on here. We could have a bad motor assembly. Let me show you this relearn. Again, I've never, here we go. Sunroof motor actuator initialization teach process, a new sunroof. So this is telling you that anytime you install a new motor or actuator, or it's been removed or reinstalled, or the system has suffered 3 interruptions for emergency events, i.e. anti-pinch, debris, or tracks, etc., and normal operation is then canceled. By performing this initialization teach process, the sunroof motor actually records the open vents. So again, this is just, it's going to learn its fully all its stop positions. So it says turn the ignition on. It is. Completely close the sunroof with the manual close switch. So let's do that. Okay. Press the sunroof vent switch to the vent open position until the sunroof window stops in the vent location. So that's going to be this guy. Yeah, see, now it's not working again. Interesting. I can hear it clicking. Let me go up there and look. All right, I'm not sure if that's the motor. I'd imagine it is, but I'm going to take these 2 screws out and I'm going to remove this whole center console assembly and bring it down so I can get a better look. Because in order to do this motor, it's saying you got to remove the whole headliner, all right? So I don't want to get too crazy with anything until I find out where this clicking noise is coming from. Then we'll start looking at the inputs, the powers, and the grounds. My gut is telling me that we probably have a bad motor actuator, okay? But we want to make sure that we don't have a power and a ground issue, okay? Before we call it. And then basically we got to figure out how much time it's going to take to remove this headliner and whatnot, okay? So let me get this down. Again, it's 2 screws up there, and then I'm going to pull this whole, center console, or whatever you want to call it, roof console down so that we got better access, okay? Okay, so once I got those screws out, I gently pried them 2 retaining tangs up in the front there, and got it out of the actual support beam there. Now that looks like our motor right there, so maybe we don't got it. Well, they're saying you got to take that whole thing down, but maybe we don't. Interesting. Okay, let me hit this button once, or one of the switches. Yeah. Yep. That's the motor clicking, guys. Okay, I just moved one of the wires going to the motor, and now it's moving again. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I wish I could prop you guys up here. Hold on. See if we can't. Yeah, this motor has got to be faulty because I just smacked on it. Now it's working. So now it's working, but it's not. Like, are we losing power and ground? Let's see if it stops working. Nope, now it's working. Alright, tilt function's working. How about open and close? Where's the open and close switch? There. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with that motor. See, now it's stopped. Okay, let me smack it again. See if it works. Yep, that was a bad motor. Well, just to be sure, let's double check our grounds. Let's double check the ground and the power to this motor. Loaded. It means plugged in. And see what we got for voltages, okay? And, well, I'm trying to think here. We can use the 5 amp test light for this. Okay, so I've got the, there we go, power probe adapter in our, our 12 volt accessory socket. I've got my ground for my 5 amp test light hooked to it, and I'm just testing to make sure that I got a good connection or a good ground, and I do. So we're going to check this power feed to this motor, which is going to be that heavy red you see up there. Right there, okay? So I'm going to back probe on that. Alright, so we're back probed in on that, and you can see we got a nice bright test light. Now that's a full-time power feed, so I believe that's only going to be hot. Yeah, that's hot at all times, okay? So let me put let me connect that real quick. Ooh, she's getting warm. All right, let's see what she can do. Let's push this switch once. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that power feed. So I gotta take that out. It's starting to get a little hot. So there ain't nothing wrong with the power feed. So let's check the ground real quick, okay? All right, so to check the ground, I just took my ground from my test light, switched it to battery positive on my connector here. We're just gonna make sure, yep, we got a good connection. So let me back probe the ground on that connector. So disconnected, hooked into our ground on the connector. We're not hooked to the motor, and you can see we got a nice bright test light. So let's load it once. Let me hook it back up. All right, we're plugged back into the motor. We're gonna hit the switch. You can hear it's moving. Oh, she just fell out. Hold on. All right, here we go. She's plugged back in. Let's go ahead and hit the switch. And you can see no motor operation. Well, it just fell out, but that ground was holding, okay? So it's able to carry a load. I'm not worried about the power in the ground going to the motor. So last checks are going to be our switch inputs, just making sure they're there. The fact that I can hear it clicking tells me they are, but we'll just double check, and then we're done. This thing needs a motor, okay? All right, so I did some more research on this. I was wrong. You don't have to remove the headliner, guys. No, basically we're already there. The only thing that would have to come off is the module bracket. Now they call it a module, but it's the motor, okay? The motor is the module, okay? So I just wanted to clarify that so nobody's confused. You would have to take those screws out, or those bolts out rather, remove that module bracket, you know, take all your wiring off, whatnot, and then you can replace the motor, which is kind of cool, okay? So let's get to these switch inputs. Again, I mean, I'm pretty confident they're going to be there, but we just need to be 100%, okay? Okay, so real quick description, I guess, explanation of what's going on here. So here's our motor, right? Here's the connector that we're on, this X319. And you're going to see all the switch inputs, okay? And if you look up here, interior lights, dimming schematics, and then all these switches from the switch assembly, they all share the same ground as our sunroof motor, okay? So the switch assembly, basically what it does is it pulls, like it said when we read the description operation, it's gonna the motor is gonna supply 12 volts to every switch, okay? So they got all 12 volts, that 12 volt reference coming to all of them. So that's what we're gonna be looking for. We're going to disconnect X319, the white one that I was showing you that goes into the motor itself. And we're going to check and see if we got power. Oh, wait, we can't do that, can we? Yeah, we can't do that because these power feeds... I'm trying to think here. How can we do this? So the switch, yeah, harness side. We're going to have to check it plugged in because the power feed right here from the wrap accessory relay, this 10 amp, we need to, let's start with this violet yellow because that's our 12 volt feed down to, I'd imagine this is the regulator that supplies power to all these, you know, the motor needs to get the motor is the module, or the motor is going to provide the 12 volt reference. So, and if we disconnect that connector from the motor, then, you know, we're not going to have any voltage, okay? So we're going to have to check each one individually and then hit the switches, and we should see the voltage drop low. So first check is with the 5 amp test light. We're going to check this violet yellow on number 6 on that connector. All right, so I've got the 5 amp test light hooked into our violet yellow on pin 1, and that's coming in. That would be our supply to the motor, okay? So obviously that power feed is there, okay? So when we go to check, all the rest of them are all going to be our 12 volt references for the switch, okay? But we got to be plugged in when we're checking it. So I'm going to have to go one at a time. So let me get a scope lead. All right. Let's get this lab scope. You could use a multimeter here too, guys. I'm just utilizing what's in front of me. So we're just going to hook up our yellow trace, our first trace, and use this because it'll be better visual. But if you had to use a meter, I mean, obviously you could use that too. So now we need to ground it. We'll just ground it here. Let's plug her into the back of the ground for the test light. We should be good. Hold on a second. All right, we're hooked up. Our ground is hooked up and everything's hooked up to the scope. So now let's just go ahead and put our probe on and we'll just check that. Let's go into lab scope. I don't know, 4 channels fine. We only need 1 trace, so let's turn this one off. We'll put this on a 20 volt scale and we'll give ourselves some, I don't know, 5-second screen. That's all we need. Turn everything off. And you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the positive side on this receptacle here, and you're going to see the voltage go high, take it away, go low. So that's what we would expect to see with this switch assembly. So let me probe into the first one. Again, we've already checked the powers and the grounds. So number 2, let's see, that was 1. That's what we just checked. So number 2 is going to be a brown blue. Not sure what that looks like. It's going to be probably the open. One of the two. It's going to be open or closed. Doesn't really matter. Not too worried about it. So number 2. Let's check number 2. All right, again, we're disconnected from the motor, so this switch assembly doesn't have any power right now. That's why we're at 0 volts. We're back probed into number 2, which is our green, oh, I'm sorry, our green white. Yep, that would be our green white, right? No, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. Brown blue. Brown blue. Yeah, X319. I misspoke there. That's X319. That connector right there, I believe. It really doesn't matter. Either way, we know we got to have 12 on all of them, and it should drop when we press the switch, right? So let me plug it in. Okay, so we're plugged back into the motor. My back probe. See, this is the problem when you use a back probe. They don't always get the best connection. There we go. All right, let's press this switch. Not wrong one. One of these is going to pull low. At least in theory. Okay. So that's tilt. Interesting. We're not pulling low. Now, why is that? Yeah, we're in there. Is that because it's not getting a ground, but it's working? See, now the motor's working. Working just fine. But our voltage is staying high. the hell is going on here? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't be high right now. Did I back probe the wrong one? Let me check. Alright guys, I'm going to do the best I can here. I'm at this connector because plugging and unplugging and trying to probe, and I'm not going to unwrap that harness, this sub harness from here to there, just to prove a point, okay? It's just, it's not even worth the time. So like I'm confident we got a bad motor, okay? But we're going to hit the tilt function. You're going to understand the concept. You can see we got our 12 volt ref. When I hit tilt, see that on the switch? That switch input is there, okay? So we're done right there. Now, is it possible we got a bad sub harness from there to there? It's possible. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not too worried about it, okay? Alright? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend the motor replacement. And when we get in there, I mean, hold on. What I'm basically telling you is I'm not worried about a bad wire from there to the motor, okay? I'm just not. I'm not gonna go above and beyond any further than that. So let me get into the next switch input. All right, and I'm just going down. I'm going down the line on the connector. Okay, we're gonna check them all, and I'm just hitting the switch. Oh, jeez, hold on. So I'm basically just gonna go down the line. I don't care which position is which. We're just gonna. You can see that one right there is there. That is tilt up. Okay, so tilt up switch input is there. Okay, let's check the next one. All right, next one. I imagine it's going to be the open function. Yep. You know, that's why I hate back probing. It's just never freaking good connection, and it can be misleading. So be careful when you're back probing, guys, because it can be misleading. Okay. Which switch input are we at? Okay. So that is open. See how it went low? Again, open, open, open. So that one's there. Let's check the next one. Some of you might be like, well, Pauly, what if you have an open in that wire going to the motor? Not worried about it. Deal with that once I sell the motor, guys. Honestly. All right, just being real with you. Okay, here we go. Which one are we on here? Oh, you're not gonna work now? There we go. Oop. Okay, now we're not working again. And this one's staying high. So do we have a bad switch? That shouldn't be staying high right now. Just tapping on the motor. There. Yep, now it's working. See, this one's staying high. And it shouldn't be. What in the... Oh, which one is that? That is the... Looks like brown violet. Brown blue is open. So again, the motor provides the 12 volt feed, and that is there, but the switch. So do we have a bad switch? That's a good question, because it sure is looking that way, right? Because that one, oh, hold on. There, it pulled low. I wonder if we got a bad ground to our switch. ground to the switch. Black. Let's check that real quick. Ain't nothing wrong with the ground going to the switch. Okay? So I'm at the switch now. I'm suspecting I might be eating my words here yet. I might have a bad switch. Let's check these 12 volt references and check that switch input at the switch, okay? All right, so we're at the switch. I'm on number 1, the brown blue, number 1, okay? So let's see if that switch let's see if that's pulling the ground when I hit the switch, okay? Okay, it is not pulling the ground. Oh, these stupid back probes. All right, let's try that again. Let's hit the switch. Oh, there it worked. Yeah, we got a bad switch. And the way we can prove this, let me go grab my other test light. All right, we're gonna work our way back across this switch. And we're gonna make sure that so that one right there is working. And that's the tilt close. Okay, and that's the first one in line on the connector. We're on the next one here, guys, and I'm gonna do the best I can to hit the switch and not drop this camera. So here we go. That one's good. That one's good, okay? On to the next one. All right, next one's gonna be open. Yeah, that switch input's there, okay? On to the next one. All right, the next one is our power feed to our switch. I'm sorry, it is not our power feed to our switch. Let's see here. Because we don't have a power feed to our switch. So which one's not working? That's interesting. Okay, again, we're on our next one. You can see that input is there. I'm going to explain why I got confused here in a second. All right. Get on to the next one. All right, the reason I got confused, guys, is because there's a couple extra wires on this switch. I'd imagine for lighting, the interior lighting, and those are those two 12 volt fixed feeds. And I was thinking that they were switch positions. Okay, they're not. They're not. I don't know why they didn't draw it that way on here, but that's just how they did it. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with our switch. It is 100%, without question, that motor that is our issue. So, sorry for the confusion. Hell, I got confused. You got to pay attention to your wiring diagrams. That dotted line means there's more than one, these aren't all the wires that go to that connector at the switch, okay? That's why I was getting confused. But you can see that our switch inputs are there. Am I worried about the switch inputs from here getting up to there? Not really, because I can hear it clicking. So we know the motor's bad. I'm not going up there and going any further than that, guys. So get a new motor, do the initialization, and we should be good to go. All right, so the new motor, actuator, module, whatever you want to call it for this sunroof is installed, okay? You can see it's just two 10 mils there. There's a gear assembly. Let me grab the old one. I'll show you what it looks like. So that's all there is to it. And we're gonna do, before we put everything back together, we're just gonna make sure. I should probably put this bracket back on. There we go. Alright, so we gotta put that 10 mil in there. for that support bracket. There's a 10 mil. It's got to go in there. I'll zip that, zappy that in. Now what we're going to do is this initialization process. And once we initialize it and everything's working just fine, we'll put everything back together and we're good to go, all right? So let me go grab my 10 mil. All right, just so I don't screw this up, I'm just going to put the 2 Phillips screws in, and I'm going to pop this back together before we do this initialization process. I changed my mind. It's going to be good, guys. We got to be confident. Think positive, right? We're going to be good to go. So let me slap these 2 screws in. I'll get it all popped together, and then we'll do it. All right. So it's all back in. All right, sunroof motor actuator initialization teach process. Perform this initialization teach procedure anytime. We already read all that. So ensure that all electrical harness connector, all the connectors are connected, and then turn it on. Completely close the sunroof window with the manual close switch. Well, that's already done. Press the sunroof vent switch to the vent open position until the sunroof window stops in the vent location. After sunroof reaches the vent position, release the vent switch and press and hold the vent switch again for approximately 10 seconds. Notice the rear edge of the sunroof mechanism will move. After the movement ends, the initialization teach process is complete. Well, that seems easy enough. Let's give this thing a shot, all right? Turn ignition on. We'll hit close. Did I do that right? All right. Okay, let's try that again. So go all the way to the close. There, that's closed. Turn the key off. Turn the key on. Okay. So we're going to go through the teach process. Turn the key on. Hit close. It's closed. Go up to the vent. Wait 10 seconds. Press and hold the vent switch again for approximately 10 seconds. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, so. All right. Oh, yeah. Sweetness. Oh. I think she's fixed, guys. Let's close it. Look at that. Custom. Vent it. Up. Beautiful. Down. 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 Okay. Open. Close. Vent. Close. Hope you guys learned something. I know I did, because I've never diagnosed this circuit before. It took me a little bit. Kind of got my, kind of get your head spinning when you have to do, for the first time. That's with anything, that's how we learn. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. And, yeah, see you on the next one.